In a previous build, I made this custom amplifier rack that included 2 amplifiers and a digital signal processor in a 2-door Jeep Wrangler. This system was awesome and performed great, but overall it was designed to be compact. I didn't want the subwoofer to take up a bunch of cargo space as this vehicle was being used often for groceries. I know, groceries and cargo over bass. Boo. But my friends, things changed. This vehicle is no longer primarily needed for groceries and hauling things around, so you know what that means? More room for more bass. In this video, I'm going to be building a brand new amplifier rack and walking you guys through the design and build process. I'm going to show you guys the different amplifiers that we'll be using, and we're going to get them wired up. Finally, we'll talk about some of the other plans for adding on to this build. Hook jab, let's fab. Here you guys can see the current system that I have in this vehicle. It consists of 2 Rockford Fosgate amplifiers. The subwoofer amp is a T500X1BR, and the speaker amplifier is a T400X4AD. For signal processing in the center here, I have an audio control DM-810. I built this custom amplifier rack beauty panel in a previous build series. If you guys want to check out those videos, they'll be linked down in the video description. And I also made this custom subwoofer box over here that will be linked as well. Let's get the beauty panel removed and out of the way and talk about the new plan. So here's the deal. I want to go from this 500 watt amplifier to this 1500 watt amplifier. This is a new amplifier from Audio Control. It's the LC-1.1500. It's a 1500 watt subwoofer amplifier. And I'm mainly switching everything out because I want to review this amplifier. And honestly, I have just as much fun building and installing new systems as I do listening to them. The current subwoofer in here has performed awesome as well. It's nice and compact, but with the additional power, we're going to do something much bigger. So here's the dilemma. Obviously, this new subwoofer amplifier with 1500 watts of power and that additional power is much larger than the 500 watt amplifier. I know that I want to keep the digital signal processor, and I know I want a 4-channel amplifier for all the speakers, but this, and this aren't all going to fit in this footprint. So instead, I'm going to run the 1500 watt amplifier with Audio Control's D-4.800. The reason it has a D is because this amplifier actually has a digital signal processor built into it. With the DSP built in, I can control the tuning of the 4 speakers, and it also allows me to control the tuning of an external amplifier, which I'll be controlling the subwoofer amp. So again, this combination of gear here performed awesome. It worked really well. I'm just looking to switch things up and do something a little bit different. So I need to pull this gear out, remove some of the wiring, and start making an amplifier rack. Let's cue up the montage. I've got the amplifier and digital signal processor rack removed, and I'm left with all of my wiring. Now there's some wires that I'm going to want to keep. I'm going to want to keep my RCA signal wires that come from the aftermarket head unit up front and provide signal to the amplifier. I want to keep those. I also want to keep my speaker wires just to connect the speakers. But for this power distribution, I'm going to redo all of this, so let's get that stuff removed as well. Now the first thing I need to do here for the fabrication process is make my baseboard. I've already done this. I've just cut this on the table saw. I measured an approximate size. This is what's actually going to bolt down into the vehicle, but right now we have some hard corners, some hard edges, so let's get this looking a little bit more clean. After using that round over bit on the router, the edges of this piece have a much more finished look, and you guys can see that I also added these holes here in order to actually mount into the vehicle. Now for this amplifier rack, I need to have my wiring distribution actually below the amplifiers, much like the previous amp rack. So I'm determining my layout here. This is going to be my power distribution block. This is going to be my ground distribution block. And what I've done is I've made some risers that will sit like so. These risers that I've created allow clearance for wiring to go underneath the amplifiers and be tucked away, along with clearance for these. Now for the height of the amplifiers to actually fit into my install location, just the way the things stack up, this is actually going to be a little bit taller than this surface here. So what I'll do is when I create the surface on top that has the amplifiers on it, I will create a cutout just for clearance for these so it can nest up inside of it. This is just the nature of the beast because it is a tight space within that location. So sometimes you have to use little tricks like that. You guys will see a little bit more what I mean in a few steps here. Real quick, before we move on to building this amplifier rack, I want to say thank you to our show sponsor, Audio Control. As I mentioned earlier, I'm going to be using the new LC-1.1500. This amplifier is no slouch, coming in at 1500 watts RMS at 2 ohms. But what's really cool is all the technology that's built in. One of the features built in is AccuBase. Let's say we want to connect this amplifier to the factory head unit. We're using that to provide signal to the amplifier. A lot of times with those factory head units, what happens is as you turn up the volume, the bass level actually reduces. The car manufacturers do this to protect their cheap stock speakers. But when you're adding an amplifier and an aftermarket subwoofer, you obviously don't want to lose that bass. So this says AccuBase built in, which will restore that bass in the signal. I'll be doing a review video soon, but if you want to learn more in the meantime, you can head on over to the link down in the video description to Audio Control, making good sound great. Let's get back into building this amp rack. In the meantime, I've created this board on top that these amplifiers are now sitting on top of. I, of course, made the edges rounded over just to give it that nice finished look. And what I've done is I've lined this up with my bottom piece, and I've drilled a couple of holes in the center here. They're kind of hard to see. But these holes allow for alignment because I'm going to need to make this top piece attach temporarily. So I'll drill a through hole in this top piece, and then in the bottom piece, I'll add a threaded insert. By using those threaded inserts, I can then use machine fasteners like this in order to secure the top board. The advantage of this is I can remove this top board when I need to in order to access the fuses down below without degrading the quality of the thread. I can use these machine fasteners over and over. Once I add all of the threaded inserts for the amplifiers, it looks a little something like this. In the meantime, I've done a couple of other things here. I've added this little clearance hole location. This allows the signal cables to pass through between the edge of the sheet metal on the vehicle and the amp rack. It allows clearance so that way they can come up and go into this amplifier. And I've also cut out these holes on the router to allow clearance for the distribution blocks. I'm gonna leave the top off for now, the part that the amps actually mount to. I'm gonna take this over to the vehicle and start getting some wiring done. As I connect each of my wires, I'll be using one of these. These are wire ferrules. They connect on the end of the wire. If you wanna see a full video about why I'm using these, check out the link up in the corner of the screen. These definitely keep things nice and clean. Just insert it in like that, and I can tighten down this set screw, cut my wire, and keep on wiring these amps. Here we have it, my friends, both amplifiers completely installed. We've fabricated that amp rack. We've done all the wiring. I've even temporarily attached this 12-inch subwoofer. This is just temporary, just so I could test this amplifier out. Everything is working good. I'm gonna be pulling this back out, and we have a different subwoofer that's coming on the way. You guys will have to stay tuned into a future video to learn more about that. In fact, along with a totally new subwoofer and a totally new subwoofer box I'll be building, we have a couple of other new videos coming up. I need to tune the DSP inside of the amplifier. We'll make a video about that. I need to do a review on the LC-1.1500, so we'll have a video there. And then I have this guy here. This is the ACR3, which allows me to control the presets on the DSP as well as the volume control, or in this case, I'm going to use it to control the subwoofer level control. And I'm actually going to install it on one of these blank panels here inside of the Jeep. So I'm going to make a video about that process and integrating these LEDs so you can still see them as well. So if you are new here and you want to see those videos along with my other future ones, I'd love to have you as a subscriber. You can check out some of my other previous videos here on screen. I also have a Jeep Grand Cherokee that I'm working on doing a project on. I'm sure some of you guys are looking for an update on that. Don't worry, that video is coming soon. A special thanks to John, Brian, Ali, Steve, Emmanuel, and Jerry, and the rest of the Patreon membership team. A big thanks to those dudes for helping support the making of these videos. Thank you guys for watching.